It was 3 a.m. when the silence of a $30 million penthouse shattered. Heavy footsteps echoed down the marble staircase. Billionaire Victor Hale, known for his ruthless empire, had just discovered something that made his blood boil. There, on the floor of his spotless living room, sat Amara Johnson, a young cleaner. Her uniform was plain, a small flashlight in her hand, and around her were open books of advanced calculus. Cleaning supplies were neatly stacked, showing her work was done. But instead of leaving, she was studying, right in his home. "What the hell are you doing here?" Victor barked, his voice sharp enough to slice through the silence. Amara didn't flinch. Calmly, she looked up. "Mr. Hale, my shift is over. I was just studying before heading home." Victor's laugh was bitter, filled with contempt. "Studying? In my house? You're paid to clean, not to play student. This is not a library. It's my home." Slowly, Amara closed her book and put away her cheap calculator. Her movements were deliberate, almost fearless. "With respect, sir, I finished all my work. The house is spotless." Her composure enraged him even more. For 6 months, she had been invisible, just another cleaner who came and went. Yet now, sitting on his floor, she acted as though she had every right to dream beyond her place. Victor leaned close, his height towering over her. "Listen carefully. People like you have a place in society. Don't pretend to be something you're not. It's pathetic." For a brief moment, Amara's eyes glimmered with something unexpected. Not anger, something stronger. She repeated his words softly, almost as if tasting them. "People like me. Interesting." That disturbed Victor, and in frustration, he shouted, "You're fired! Get out!" That disturbed Victor, and in frustration, he shouted, "You're fired! Get out!" Amara gathered her books with quiet dignity. At the door, she stopped, turned back, and said, "Mr. Hale, have you ever heard the saying, 'Never underestimate those who are always watching'?" The words hung in the air long after she left. Victor tried to sleep that night, but her calm gaze haunted him. Something about it felt dangerous, like she knew a secret. By morning, irritation replaced his unease. "Ridiculous," he muttered. "A cleaner trying to intimidate me?" But Victor had no idea. Amara wasn't just a cleaner. For 6 months, she had been carefully studying more than calculus. She had been studying him. Every careless document Victor left on his desk, every late-night business meeting, every whispered deal. She noticed it all. And with her old phone, she discreetly photographed contracts, bribe agreements, and insider deals. The truth? Amara had graduated top of her class in economics, but firms rejected her again and again. Too poor, the wrong background, not the right fit. So she chose another path. If she couldn't enter the world of power through the front door, she would sneak in through the back. Becoming a cleaner wasn't desperation, it was strategy. And studying calculus in his penthouse? It wasn't recklessness, it was bait. She knew Victor's routine, knew he would find her, humiliate her, and fire her. Exactly what she needed, to leave without suspicion. A week later, in the quiet corner of a public library, Amara spread out her collection of evidence. That's when a voice interrupted. "Excuse me, you're Amara Johnson, right?" "My name is Ethan Cole. I'm a journalist. I overheard Victor bragging about you at the golf club. I think you know more than anyone." Amara studied him carefully. He wasn't lying. Slowly, she revealed her notebook. Ethan's eyes widened as he flipped through pages of dates, names, and transactions. "My God," he whispered. "This is enough to destroy not just Hale, but half the city's elite." For the first time, Amara allowed herself a small smile. "Then let's finish what we started." For weeks, they worked in silence. Every contract was verified, every bribe traced, every meeting recorded. And then, the final piece arrived. Security footage of Victor offering bribes in his own penthouse. Ethan looked at her in awe. With this, we've got him. Are you ready? Amara's smile returned. I've been ready for 6 months. ... Monday morning, Victor Hale was sipping coffee when his phone began ringing non-stop. First, his assistant, then his lawyer, then journalists. The headlines were everywhere. Victor Hale's empire exposed, bribery, fraud, and insider deals revealed. Bank accounts frozen, partners fleeing, politicians cutting ties. On live TV, anchors discussed his downfall as if it was already history. Victor's face turned pale as he grabbed the newspaper. Every page carried evidence he thought was buried. And then his eyes froze on one line. Documents provided by an anonymous source with privileged access inside Hale's residence. His hand shook. Anonymous source? 6 months of access? He whispered aloud, "Her." And as if fate mocked him, his doorbell rang. He opened the door, and there stood Amara. Not in a uniform, but in a blazer, holding a leather briefcase. Calm, confident, unshaken. "I thought you'd want this," she said, placing the newspaper with his photo on his desk. Victor's voice cracked. "It was you, all along." Amara's eyes were steady. "No, Mr. Hale, it was you. Every careless document you left out, every deal you thought no one would understand. You gave me everything I needed." "Why?" he whispered. She leaned closer, her voice like steel. "Because men like you build empires by crushing families like mine. But your biggest mistake wasn't corruption. It was underestimating me." At that very moment, his lawyer called. "Victor, the IRS is seizing everything. You need to surrender, now." Victor sank into his chair, his empire collapsing around him. 6 months later, Victor Hale wore an orange jumpsuit in federal prison. The billionaire who once mocked a cleaner now lived among criminals, stripped of everything. And Amara? She walked into her new office as a senior financial analyst. From her glass window high above the city, she looked down, not as a cleaner, but as the woman who had brought down a giant. Her family finally thrived. Her mother Grace retired peacefully. Her sisters, Leela and Naomi, pursued medicine and law. Ethan won awards for his exposé, launching programs to help underprivileged youth. During a lecture at her old university, Amara told her story to students. "When Victor told me that people like me had a place in society, he was right," she said, pausing as the room grew silent. "Our place is not where prejudice tries to keep us. Our place is wherever our determination takes us." A student asked, "How did you stay calm all those months?" Amara smiled. "Because anger without strategy is noise, but anger with strategy becomes justice." And so, the empire of Victor Hale collapsed, not because of rivals, not because of markets, but because he underestimated the one person he thought invisible. A cleaner, a student, a strategist. Amara Johnson proved that sometimes the broom doesn't just sweep floors, it sweeps away empires.